From here, we want to go into abduction of femur, so we're going to take the contralateral leg, step outside, and then we want to go ahead and translate our hips over to that side. Then we want to go into medial rotation of femur by taking the foot and placing it outside of the knee and pressing the ankle away from our body. From here, we're going to go into retroversion of Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Steven here with TV4, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to be your own therapist by demonstrating the top 5 myofascial stretching exercises for posture correction, and more specifically, I'm going to be teaching you how to correct a double scoliosis. Before I get on with the exercises, I first want to do a quick recap of what exactly a double scoliosis is and why exactly you should care. And in order to do that, I'm going to need the help of my good friend, Johnny Bones. So Johnny, get over here and show your non-scoliotic spine to the camera. Scoliosis is when you develop a lateral flexion of the trunk or the spine, and a double scoliosis is when you develop two different types of scoliosis. And typically, there are many ways in which it can present, but two of the most common are going to be an S-shaped curve and a reverse S-shaped curve. With an S-shaped curve, you're going to develop this C-shaped curve in the thoracic spine and then a reverse C in the lumbar spine. And then with a reverse S, it's going to be the opposite. So you're going to develop a reverse C in the thoracic spine and then a C-shaped curve in the lumbar spine. And with regard to the scoliosis, there's going to be a convex and concave side to the scoliosis. When you are doing a scoliosis, the convex side, the muscles are going to be very, very lengthened and taut. And the concave side, the muscles are going to be very, very shortened and tight. And with regard to an S-shaped curve, the muscles on the left, those are going to be the convex side. Those are going to be the lengthened and taut muscles. And the muscles on the right, those are going to be the shortened and tight muscles, so the concave side. And then in the lumbar spine, you're going to get that reverse C. So the muscles on the right, that is going to be the convex side. The muscles on the left are going to be the concave. And then with the reverse S, it's going to be the opposite. So because you have that reverse S shape, you get this reverse C, which means the muscles on the right are the convex side, muscles on the left are the concave. And then you're going to get this C-shaped curve in the lumbar spine, which means the muscles on the left are going to be the convex side, the muscles on the right are going to be the concave side. And if you don't address it, it can lead to a whole host of issues like neck pain, upper back pain, mid back pain, low back pain, shoulder pain, knee pain, ankle pain, foot pain, and a whole host of other issues. So you would want to address it immediately. And one of the ways in which we could address it would be to do some strengthening exercises and focusing specifically on the convex side. We did those a couple days ago. I'm going to include a link right up over here to the top 5 strengthening exercises for posture correction to correct the double scoliosis. And then once you've done those strengthening exercises, a terrific complement to those exercises would be to do some myofascial stretching exercises for the muscles that are responsible for laterally flexing the trunk, specifically on the concave side. And that's exactly what I'm going to be taking you guys through today. So without further ado, here are the top 5 myofascial stretching exercises for posture correction to correct a double scoliosis. With the exception of the first exercise, that's a bilateral exercise, meaning you're training both right and left at the same time. All of the other exercises are going to be unilateral, meaning you're going to be doing a stretch on the right and also on the left side. But let's get on with the myofascial stretching exercises. The first myofascial stretching exercise for posture correction to correct a double scoliosis is going to be for the longissimus muscle. And for this one, I'm going to be taking you through 2 different variations. This first one is going to be to target the the cephalic fibers, meaning the fibers closer to the thoracic spine and the cervical spine. For it, we're going to be in a supine position, meaning you're laying down on your back. And what we want to do for this exercise is we are essentially going into as much thoracic flexion as possible by taking our feet and kicking our legs up over our head. We want to bend the knees. The reason we're bending the knees is to release tension on the hamstring group. And this is the myofascial stretching exercise for the longissimus muscle, more specifically the cephalic portion. And then if we want to target the caudal portion, meaning the fibers closer to the lumbar spine and the pelvis, we're going to go into a seated position. We're going to flex the knees to 90 degrees, plant the feet on the floor. We want to go into maximum retroversion of the pelvis. We really want to round the spine, so go into as much flexion of the spine as possible, flexion of the cervical spine with the arms, maximum extension of elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation of shoulders, project the palms down between our thighs. We're pressing forward with the palms, we're pressing away with the crown of the head, and with the L3 vertebrae or the umbilicus, we're going to be pressing away from our body. But this is the myofascial stretching exercise for the longissimus muscle, and more specifically the caudal fibers. Next, the second myofascial stretching exercise for posture correction to correct a double scoliosis is going to be for the iliocostalis muscle. And once again, we're going to be doing 2 different variations. This first one is going to be for the cephalic fibers, meaning the fibers closer to the thoracic spine and the cervical spine. And once again, we're going to be in a supine position. For this exercise right over here, it's pretty much the same as the longissimus stretch, just with a minor modification. So we're going to go ahead and kick our feet up over our body. And what we want to do for this one, once again, we're maintaining slight flexion in the knees to release some of the tension on the hamstrings muscles. And then for this one, we want to go into a component of lateral flexion. So what we're going to do, if we want to stretch the left side, we're going to walk our feet over to the right. And this is the myofascial stretching exercise for the iliocostalis muscle, specifically the cephalic portion. And then if we want to target the caudal portion, what what we're gonna do is get into a seated position. From a seated position, we wanna flex the knees to 90 degrees, plant the feet firmly on the floor. Then we're gonna go into maximum retroversion of pelvis. We're gonna go into flexion of the spine. We're gonna go into contralateral flexion. So if we wanna stretch the right side, we're gonna bend away from that side and bend to the left. Then from this position right over here, we want to go into slight ipsilateral rotation, meaning we're going to rotate toward the side that we are stretching. Then with the ipsilateral arm, so the arm of the same side that we're stretching, we want to go into extension of elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation of shoulder, project the palm on a downward diagonal, and then with the contralateral arm, what we want to do is maximum extension of elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation, and project the palm forward. But this is the myofascial stretching exercise for the iliocostalis muscle, more specifically the caudal fibers. Next, the third myofascial stretching exercise for posture correction to correct double scoliosis is going to be for the external oblique. For the external oblique, we're going to get into a kneeling position. So we're going to get into a tall kneeling position. From here, we want to go into slight lordosis, meaning we're going to go into a little bit of extension of the lumbar spine. Then, from this position, we're going to do a contralateral side bend, meaning we're bending away from the side that we're stretching. So if I'm stretching my right side, I'm going to bend to the left. Then we're going to do ipsilateral rotation by rotating toward the side that we're stretching. With the ipsilateral hand, we're going to go ahead and we are going to place it over our ear to put the pectoral fascia under tension. Then at the cervical spine, we're going to mimic what we did at the lumbar spine. So we're going to go ahead and do a contralateral side bend by bending away from the side that we're stretching. Ipsilateral rotation by rotating toward the side that we're stretching. And then what we want to do right over here is with the ipsilateral arm, with the contralateral arm, we're going to go ahead and grab a hold of our Achilles, lean back, and this is the myofascial stretching exercise for the external oblique. Next, the fourth myofascial stretching exercise for posture correction to correct a double scoliosis is going to be for the psoas major. For the psoas major, we're going to be in a half kneeling position. Whatever knee is on the floor, that's going to be the side of the psoas major that we're stretching. I've got my right knee on the floor, I'm stretching my right psoas major. From here, we want to go into abduction of femur, so we're going to take the contralateral leg, step outside, and then we want to go ahead and translate our hips over to that side. Then we want to go into medial rotation of femur by taking the foot and placing it outside of the knee and pressing the ankle away from our body. From here, we're going to go into retroversion of pelvis by tucking the pelvis underneath us and maximum extension of the femur by driving our hips forward without losing that retroversion of the pelvis. With the shoulders, maximum extension of elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation of shoulders, project the palm forward, and then at the spine, nice tall spine. So we got flat lumbar, flat thoracic, chin tucked in, crown head up, eyes looking down at the floor to put the dura mater under tension. We want to do a contralateral side bend, so we're going to bend away from the side that we're stretching. Ipsilateral rotation, so we're rotating toward the side that we're stretching. And this is the myofascial stretching exercise for the psoas major. And last, the fifth and final myofascial stretching exercise for posture correction to correct a double scoliosis is going to be for the Quadratus lumborum muscle. For this exercise, what we want to do is take the contralateral leg, so the leg opposite to the side that we're stretching, and we're going to prop it up on some type of elevated surface, and then with the contralateral hand, you can use that for stabilization. Then, what we want to do is we are going to go into flexion of the femur. We're going to go into dorsiflexion of the ankle by pointing the toes toward our head, inversion by pointing the sole of our foot in toward the inside, and then we're going to go into medial rotation of femur by turning the toes in toward the midline. Then, from this position, we're going to go ahead and maintain retroversion of pelvis, flat lumbar spine, flat thoracic, chin tucked in, crown and head up, eyes looking down at the floor to put the dura mater under tension. With the arm, maximum extension of elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation of shoulder, flex shoulder to the level of coronal plane, so bicep in line with the ear. We want to do a ipsilateral rotation of the cervical spine, so we're going to look toward the side that we're stretching, and then we are going to do contralateral flexion of the lumbar spine, so we're going to bend away from the side that we're stretching. Then, principle of action, we're pressing away with the palm, down with the foot, and this is the myofascial stretching exercise for the Quadratus lumborum muscle.
And there you have it. Those were the top 5 myofascial stretching exercises for posture correction to correct a double scoliosis. If you have a double scoliosis or an S-shaped scoliosis, or if you have issues with regard to neck pain, upper back pain, mid back pain, low back pain, shoulder back pain, hip pain, knee pain, ankle pain, foot pain, go ahead and give those exercises a try. And then if you have given them a try, go ahead and drop your comments down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys thought of today's video. And if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask your questions down in the comment section. In terms of the programming for the myofascial stretching exercises, what you want to do on the concave side, you want to do 3 sets of a 30-second hold. And you want to do them every single day. And the reason we're doing them every single day is because we're trying to elicit a postural change. And whenever we're trying to elicit a postural change, one of the most important things is going to be accumulating enough time under tension. And if we only do these stretches once a week or once a month, we're not going to be able to accumulate that time under tension. So 3 sets of 30 seconds on the concave side. And then on the convex side, even though those muscles are going to be very, very lengthened, we don't want to neglect them. We still want to do some stretching, but we're not going to do quite as much volume. So on the convex side, what we want to do is anywhere from 1 to 2 sets. Same thing, 30-second holds. And with regard to this, it's going to depend on the severity of the scoliosis. If you have a very, very mild scoliosis, then you could do 2 sets of a 30-second hold for the convex side. And then if you have a very, very severe scoliosis, you wouldn't want to do as much volume. So you're only going to do 1 set of a 30-second hold. But go ahead and give those myofascial stretching exercises a try. And then this coming Monday at 2 o'clock p.m., I'm going to be taking you through a third scenario, because a third problem that may arise is you may have damage or compression to the nerve roots for the muscles that are responsible for laterally flexing the trunk. And if you have that, what's going to happen is the nerves are not going to be able to send the proper signal to the muscles to fire properly, and then that could limit blood flow and oxygen to the area, which can limit how the actual muscles function. So this coming Monday at 2 o'clock p.m., I'm going to be taking you through the top 5 ELDOA exercises for posture correction to correct a double scoliosis. But that's pretty much it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to smash that like button so I know to keep making these types of videos in the future. And if you're either new to the channel or haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, as I will be uploading new videos every single day. That's it for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you again tomorrow.